This just makes it feel like summertime. Top 10 draft prospects according to MLB.com. This fresh list just came out from Johnathan Mayo and company at MLB Pipeline. One thing you'll notice, 2 pitchers from Vanderbilt, Jack Leiter, Al's son, and Kumar Rocker at the top of the list, who we'll talk about in just a moment. The last time you had 2 pitchers from the same school in the top 10, Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer, UCLA 2011. And if you go online, you'll see the article and learn much more, many more interesting nuggets from Johnathan, who we will speak to right now. So, Johnathan, great to have you. You're in Pittsburgh. That's where the Pirates will have their war room up and running, and they will be working on the #1 pick in 2021. And that pick will be...
Well, I would tell you, but then I'd have to kill you, Scott. They are going to let me make the pick, so that's good. Since I'm here and all, it's interesting because I think there are a lot of people who just are assuming that it's going to be Kumar Rocker, one of those Vandy pitchers you just alluded to. He's #1 on our talent board. He very well could be the #1 overall pick. Anyone who watched the college postseason back in 2019, maybe they saw him throw a no-hitter in postseason play. The fastball and slider combination for Rocker, I probably could get big league hitters out right now. He's big and physical, former football player. His dad played in the NFL. So there are a lot of boxes he checks off as that kind of #1 pick. But and I feel like, this turns into almost like I'm bashing Kumar Rocker, which I'm not. I want people to take a breath. He is not the slam dunk pick. He's not Steven Strasburg, and a lot of people think he is. There are some questions about his third pitch, more questions about the command, I think, than anything else. And he hasn't been seen all that much, obviously, because of the pandemic. But he is not the automatic guy to go to. And yes, he's more advanced. The other guy who would be in the conversation if the draft were right now is Jordan Lawler. He's a high school shortstop from the Dallas area. Draws a lot of comparisons to Bobby Witt Jr., who was the #2 pick in the draft in 2019. They're both from Dallas, high school shortstop, 5-tool potential, will definitely stay up the middle, premium type players. And Lawler kind of played his way up to #2 on our list based on how he performed on the summer showcase circuit.
And we're looking at a top 5. #2 overall, 5-tool player, plus arm, bat, and speed. Okay, so you covered, as of now, the top college pitcher and the top high school position player. Can you tell us who the top college hitter is at this point?
Yeah, next on our overall list it's Matt Mclean from UCLA, and the draft fans may kind of remember him, and Diamondbacks fans may remember him a little bit wistfully. They took him #1 with their first-round pick, not #1 overall, but near the end of the first round back in 2018, and he's played his way up into the top 5. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but I think more and more teams are looking past that. He's probably 5'9", maybe 5'10", but he can really, really hit. He's got more power than you would think. He can run. He hadn't played shortstop at UCLA much because they had other players there, but he is going to play this spring. He looked good this fall. So now you're looking at a shortstop with a plus hit tool, might even end up having above average power when all of a sudden and he can run. So he's really, really exciting player. Adrian Del Castillo is a catcher from Miami is another guy, and Judd Fabian from Florida has tremendous all-around tools, but it comes with a little bit of swing and miss. So those 3 are probably the top 3 college bats. Del Castillo may be the best pure hitter. Mclean has got the best set of tools right now that work. Fabian probably has the highest ceiling.
So there's one more category, and then I want to talk big picture. And let's get to high school pitchers, because I don't see one currently on the top 10 list. Is there anyone just on the outside looking in?
Yeah, you have to scroll down just a little bit further, down to #11 with Andrew Painter from Florida. He's really interesting, with the caveat that high school pitching tends to slide a little bit once we come draft time. There hasn't been a high school pitcher taken in the first round, in the top 10 picks, since 2018. So it's been a little while. Painter is the kind of guy who could move up. He's really big, he's athletic, and he's got a feel for 4 pitches. So we're talking about a guy with some projection, a projectable frame, really good now stuff. He's going to throw harder. It kind of reminds me of Mick Abel from last year's draft, and Abel went 15th overall to the Phillies. Depending on how the class shakes out, Painter could be in that neck of the woods, but he also could pitch his way into the top 10 for a team that's willing to roll the dice on high school pitching that high.
Okay, so I feel very refreshed on the top names available at the moment. So let's do the big picture talk for a moment. How do you think that evaluators are taking this time period to figure out who should be a guy they're targeting, because you can't attend many, say, college games. There are none at the moment. There were somewhat of a normal amount of high school showcases this summer. So how do you think that draft evaluators are figuring out who their top guys are? How are they making their board? And for you too, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and our board is a reflection of what we are hearing from the scouting industry, and it's really challenging, Scott. It was challenging for them. The summer showcase circuit for high school helped, and it's part of the reason why at least the high school bats are thought to be ahead of the college bats. Some of it is just familiarity. They were seen. There were very little college action over the summer. A couple of smaller collegiate leagues. There was no Cape Cod League. There was no Team USA. There was some fall baseball. So it's a really limited amount of looks. And, they usually use the summer and fall to build their follow lists of, right, who are we going to go out and see? Who are going to be our priorities come the spring? So they're still trying to do that, just with a lot less information at their fingertips. And then add on to the fact that we don't really know when or if the spring season in college or high school baseball is going to start. So they're already kind of behind. The one positive is that they had to do all of this in last year's draft. Yes, it was only 5 rounds. It was less than ideal. But teams have an idea about how to go about preparing and then drafting in a world where you can't go and see players. Now, hopefully there will be some sort of normal spring, even if it's truncated, and that will give them the opportunity to see them in real time as the draft approaches. Having the draft pushed back to July does allow for a little bit more time, and where things like Major League Baseball's draft league will certainly come into play for extra looks as the draft approaches.
A somewhat normal spring sounds amazing. I love it. Great catch-up session with you, Johnathan. And I didn't know that you had the #1 pick in your hands with Pittsburgh, so that's good to know as well. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good holiday, okay?
You too, Scott.